Good morning, entrepreneurs. You're tuned in to the Non-Corporate Network, the worldwide leader in entrepreneurship. This is Entreprenews, and my name is Chaz Vandemeyer. I'm joined by my co-host,
Dustin Trout. I almost jumped the gun there.
You know,
I'm ready. I'm ready today.
You are ready. Well, thank you guys for being with us. The format is we debate the top 6 trending small business headlines for 3 minutes each. We each give our unbiased take, keep you woke in the mornings. If you're tuned in on Facebook Live, we appreciate you. If you're listening to us on the podcast, we all also appreciate you there. Tell a business owner about us. That's your toll for tuning in today. But without further ado, Dustin, you have anything you want to add before we dive into this?
Just go and dive in.
Word. Okay, so our first story, PPP Round 2 could do a lot to support small business. Fed Chair Powell says, we know that there was a first round of PPP stimulus that equated to just under $1 trillion. They're looking at another round that's been sitting on the floor that is $190 billion in funding. Now, this funding is specific to businesses that are looking for $250,000 loans or higher. There's 5.2 million businesses got the loans the first round. And so the alternative to the PPP stimulus is what is it, Dustin? Do we know what's it called? Main Street Lending Program. Yeah, so the Main Street Lending Program is essentially a little higher barrier to entry alternative to the PPP, where they kind of comb through your application a little bit more thoroughly, and then the Fed buys 95% of the loan. And so it differs a little bit from the PPP program. But Dustin, do you think PPP or this Main Street Lending Program is a better alternative? And are you bought into a minimum of $250,000 for the loans, considering that the last round of PPP averaged out to about $72,000 in loans?
Yeah, I mean, it's tough between the two. I mean, I don't have tons of information on both, but I mean, I think the higher barrier of entry is the way to go. I think really, I mean, as much as I hate to say this, I think we do need to focus a little bit more on the medium to large size businesses instead of the small, only for the simple fact is I think we're right near the finish line of kind of getting through this in terms of, I mean, Scottsdale here, we have a story soon. Masks are being, the ban is being lifted. I think more businesses are opening up. So that spending is going to happen. And I think that just bigger businesses are a little bit better when it comes to accounting and finances, and they're going to spend it a little bit better, and the dollar's going to go further. I mean, you mentioned all the time, outcome driven. I think the outcome is to prevent a fall in the GDP and spending. I mean, we're getting closer or more often now that, we're missing estimates in terms of consumer discretionary spending. Auto loans are starting to fall. So, I mean, you're starting to see a negative decline in overall spending. And I think just a nice little jolt of money or stimulus would help. And I think the medium to large size businesses, they have more purchasing power. They can put a lot more money into people's pockets. But I mean, what are your thoughts? Yeah,
I mean, I like the Main Street Lending Program because of what they're doing, where the Fed buys the loan, but they insure. I mean, we saw a lot of fraud over this last sprint of stimulus in a lot of different ways. And so, I mean, maybe PPP is poised to eliminate some of that, being that they've already kind of gone through the process once. But, I think that there's another thing that's at play here is that, American Airlines is kind of leading the charge in terms of like, we need more stimulus. And I think that some industries they're going to suffer, and being able to stimulate them, pump them back up to 100%, they're not going to ever be at 100% again. So I think we need to keep that in mind and be cognizant of that when we're awarding this money, so that we don't run into another problem where they're going to have to eventually downsize.
Yep.
Well, getting into our next story, everything Amazon just announced, like that crazy home drone. Amazon did a big drop of some of their new hardware products, and included an Orb version of the Alexa device. They have customized Alexa devices that look like teddy bears. And then they have some new Ring devices as well, one of which is a drone in your house that will actually fly around and look through your house on a camera to make sure nobody is coming around the backyard or anything like that. So it's not just one static cam anymore. They also have a Ring device that's fitted for cars to eliminate any kind of carjacking. And so, I think that there's some innovation here, but, again, Dustin, we look at this and think, oh, it's safety or privacy. And I think that, I'm curious what your thoughts are here. Is this more for the safety, or is this more of pushing against the privacy barrier that we should have?
They're pushing against the privacy barrier. Now it's going to be disguised as safety. I know, personally about to have a child and just talk with my wife. There's a lot of things we're buying that I'm like, don't really need it, but it's all under safety. And I think that's what's going to be pitched as. But they're definitely going to benefit. You got Tesla that has, they can identify things with their dash cam. Similar here. Now they're going to get insight into what you have in your home. And conveniently enough, there's going to be recommendations that probably come up. So, it's innovation. Whether Amazon's the right company to do it, you had the whole antitrust thing, but I think, it just continues on with innovation. I think there is a space for it, an application for that. But you're absolutely right. It opens up to, you got more people. Yep. I'd be interested to see how many burglaries happen in the next 10 years compared to hacking. And it's like, if you're trying to use a device to prevent burglaries, but people are hacking in and can control the drone and literally over a voice talk to your family, whatever it is, I think that's a little bit scarier than the potential of someone breaking in. But
cut the crap, Bezos. How about that? I truly think that, you bring up an amazing point about the image recognition side of this. They have very sophisticated algorithms. They understand I do not need a camera flying around my house, monitoring every single thing I have in my house. Buick just did a deal with the Alexa device. So now Buicks are actually equipped with Alexa. Again, we look at it and go, it's convenience in terms of, having something at our fingertips to be able to order, whatever. But then you go back to the privacy side, and this is unregulated. This is way over the government's head. They have no idea what Amazon's doing. And they've notoriously just continued to slap them on the wrist. Oh, don't do that. Don't do that. But we can't do anything about it. Here we are. This is a precedent that's being set. And, shame on you guys at Amazon for not really putting privacy first over profitability. Yeah.
It's no idea how they're going to use all of that, but it's just like any business. You got to innovate, and at least they're doing that. Again, whether Amazon's the right company or not, someone has to do it. So it's good to see the innovation happening though.
Getting into our next story. Scottsdale Lifts Mask Requirement. The county order is still in effect. We have had a mandatory mask mandate here in Scottsdale since June 19th. And so with that being lifted, it doesn't necessarily mean that you can't wear a mask. But Dustin, what do you think this does for the economy? What do you think the implications of lifting this mask ban here in Scottsdale is going to do for the rest of Arizona and nationwide?
I'm excited to see. That happening, businesses opening up, more stadiums allowing people in. It's a sign of reopening, but we're not out of the woods. And I think if we remove the mask now, I think we're going to see a spike, which is going to cause more shutdown. And it's like, we're so close to that finish line. Let's just keep wearing them for the next month or two. And prevent that spike from happening, which will allow us to get to where everyone wants to be. And that's back out, businesses open, America back to where it used to be. And if it means wearing a mask for 2 more months, then so be it. I hate it. I hate wearing a mask. I hate going back to my car every single time I go to a store or whatever it may be, because I forgot my stupid mask. But we all want the same thing. We want things to open back up. We want things to get back to normal. And this is the quickest way there. So I'm all for it, but what are your thoughts?
I think we're doing permanent psychological damage to our society by continuing to wear masks around it. All it says is, you guys, this is not safe. Where it's like wearing freaking hazmat suits walking around town. It makes us believe that there is, really scary risks even being in public. And if you're social distancing, if you don't have a temperature, and if you're not at high risk, I think that, it's tough. We want to protect everybody. I don't want to be insensitive, but at the same time, we keep looking at everybody wearing masks. We keep telling ourselves it's not safe. We got to stay inside. We can't go to the restaurants. We can't do anything else in society. And I think that hurts us as a country. And I think that's a bigger problem in terms of the economy suffering.
Yeah. And I hear you on the safety and all that, but it goes back to marketing. I love analytics. There's one KPI that's going to impact all of this. And even if everyone's safe, it's the simple fact of catching something that's going to prevent it. And everyone that can go out, I mean, can be safe. But the simple fact that this one KPI is being looked at, as soon as it goes up, things shut down. And
Right.
I know that there's a correlation there. It's what everyone looks at when, I mean, I think it's the wrong KPI to look at, but that is what's being looked at. And so again, if we want things to open up, we really need to look at what's going to impact this. And as soon as everyone comes out with not wearing masks or whatever it may be, that number is going to go up and things are going to shut down.
We just hope it's the right data though, right? I mean,
Right.
you know, because if it's just deaths and it's, you know, and
it's
again,
the death rate. I think it's the death rate that we need to focus on. At the
we
end
got
of the
a
day,
death count ticker on the TV, you know.
that's what I keep bringing up. It is crazy that we have that running death toll. But I mean, to your point, the psychological part, I saw someone in a store yesterday or the day before that wasn't wearing a mask. And it was like the first time that I was like, wow, you look weird for not wearing a mask.
Right.
And it's just, again, it's the psychology part. But
yeah, we've really kind of conditioned ourselves. I'll tell you one thing you should condition yourself into doing though is going over to state48.com, check them out. Amazing company, amazing apparel, bring a lot of good causes to light. And you know, it's very comfortable clothing. I know that's kind of the notorious theme of all of the things that they put out is feels good to wear, you know, Dustin. Anything else you want to mention about State 48?
No, not only does it feel good to wear, but it feels good to make a positive impact in the community. They have a lot of collaborations with nonprofits, and a lot of the proceeds do go back to whatever efforts that nonprofit has put forth. And so, not only can you look good, feel good, but you can also impact the community in a positive way. So make sure to check them out, state48.com.
That was smooth. That was real smooth.
Practiced all night last night. So going into our next story, the Department of Justice announced on Pennsylvania ballot investigation baffles election professionals or experts. Really what happened is someone found ballots that came in from overseas from Marines and they were discarded or thrown away. It turns out that all the ballots were votes for Trump. So this really opens up the whole question of, is mailing ballots the way to go? There were a couple that were unopened. They're not going to open them to see who were being voted for. But at the end of the day, this is what everyone keeps talking about, where there is going to be corruption. I mean, there's so many hands that are in the pot when it comes to delivering mail that all it takes is someone to, I don't like that. I don't like that. I mean, if you got the person delivering the mail, they can see what communications you're getting and you can probably tell which way you lean, and they could discard your mail or your ballot based off of that. I mean, seen a running meme that's kind of funny where if you believe that the mail system is so safe, mail yourself $1,500 in cash and see if it actually makes it way to yourself. If you're not willing to do that, you know, you obviously don't trust the mailing system. So with all that being said, I mean, should we be pushing the election back or thinking of a different way to approach the election? I mean, it's only a couple weeks away or whatever it may be, 2 months away. What are your thoughts, Chaz?
Yeah, no, I mean, it's crazy. I mean, and honestly, like, in a normal election, we would be having debates and more education around the policies that are being advocated by each of the parties. And so I think that there's just a lot of gray area with this election, and I don't think that's good. I'll tell you one thing that I think is good, though, is that there's going to be a large voter penetration this go, especially in the younger group of 18 to 25-year-olds. And so I'm very excited to see some more voter turnout there. But again, you know, you bring up the point of, you know, who cares how many people come out if it's not going to be if it's going to be a rigged election or it's corrupt. And so you wonder, you know, we see the same thing and it's relative. Like Facebook, for instance, I mean, content moderation team, you can't be inside the company and doing that. And so, you know, it's like you can't have, you know, Republicans sorting all the votes or Democrats sorting all the votes. And so you try to find who is the least concerned about the outcome of this election and have those people be I mean,
who is that, Chaz?
Send them the ballots to middle schools and elementary schools across the country because they don't seem to care. That's the best idea I've got. Like everybody else is going to have an agenda, and it's just tough to, you know, whether it's digital or in person, doesn't seem to matter. Yeah,
I mean, the alternative is going back to how we were doing it, and you go to a spot and electronically submit your ballot. But then we go back to, well, now we got a bunch of people congregating. Coronavirus is going to spike and now got to shut back down. And it's like, it's tough. How do you have an election that isn't going to have some sort of corruption? I mean, we've talked about maybe there's literally someone there who you're going to vote for, tally, but then it's like they could, okay, you voted Trump.
Are we forgetting that hundreds of thousands of people were marching on Washington, walking around, protesting about obviously clauses that need to be changed, but we're all doing that. We can't go to a voter booth. Like we can stand and huddle next to each other within 2 feet and yell about, you know, things that need to be changed, but we can't go to a voter registration ballot.
Craziness.
No, it doesn't make any sense.
Craziness. On to our next story. So Facebook critics launch rival oversight board. Critics of Facebook launched a rival oversight board to review the company's content moderation. I mean, as a reminder, we've had it on the show before. Facebook created its own internal content moderation team, which looks for hate speech, looks for anything that's just bad. And so really Facebook is using their own money to hire their own people. So it could be skewed a certain way. So this is a third-party company that's coming in to, they created a board to give oversight here. They call themselves the Real Facebook Oversight Board. Extremely creative there. The announcement launch comes a day after Facebook officially mandated their oversight board, but said it would start in mid to late October, which is a year behind. The delay means that the official Facebook-funded board is unlikely to review cases when it comes to the U.S. election, which obviously Facebook is a prime focus point when it comes to our elections after the last one. The rival board plans to move much quicker, and their biggest thing is going to be focusing on this election when it comes to suppression, election security, and misinformation. And really, is there even a point in Facebook's own self-governing board? They've allocated $126 million over 6 years. It's a big chunk of change. How much can we believe in them? And should this third party be looking at the other companies that were in Congress? You got the Googles, the Amazon. What are your thoughts?
I'm shaking my head, man. That's what my thoughts are. How ironic is it that we can't launch the governing board until after the election? Like, what? Like, you guys have had this initiative for 6 years and you can't launch it before the election. Like, that just blows my mind. Like, obviously they were in trouble in the last election. And so I don't know if it's them just punting on responsibility around the election or what, but that makes me shake my head. I'm glad to see that somebody is doing it. Facebook obviously hasn't done it themselves where they've said, hey, let's have a third party come in. No, the Zuckerberg is appointing the people to the board. It's the same way as having a hung jury that's appointed based on, the people that most reflect the views of the company. And so, the views of the company are profitability. The views of the company are not focused on, amplifying the correct voices and making sure that this is and they say it's lip service though, because we haven't seen these types of initiatives happen. So it's lip service. Mm-hmm. Seen Zuck on the Congress a million times. Says the same thing. Nothing changes. He just gets slapped on the wrist. They don't do anything. Maybe hit him with a fine. Who cares? And it's time. So I'm glad they're doing this.
Yeah, one thing that's cool is they're actually working closely with Congress and lawmakers. And so as they find more stuff out, they're going to work with lawmakers on how they can roll out laws. And I think that's the biggest thing. We joke about it all the time. There's a lot of not so young people.
They just get glazed and steamrolled by anything they say. Yeah.
Yeah. So I think this will be huge, and especially if there's some success here. There could be as mentioned, they can go to other companies, and I think it's all great.
I love it. Get after them. Hold them accountable.
Awesome. So bringing it back to Arizona. So electric vehicle startup, another one. They're called Lucid. They unveil what's called an Air Sedan to take on Tesla Model S. The company is touting that the car is faster, more efficient, and spacious compared to the Model S. And it's expected to be in production early next year at the company's plant in Casa Grande. Lucid also teased its next vehicle in development, a crossover SUV tentatively named Gravity. Rawlinson, who's leading this, or the CEO, he was actually one of the lead engineers on the Model S. He was the chief engineer and vice president of engineering at Tesla from 2009 to 2012. With this, he claims that the Air is 17% more energy efficient than Tesla models, allowing for more range on fewer cells. So with this, company here in Arizona, should Tesla be worried, especially if the main engineer from Tesla is taking on Tesla? Again, keep bringing it up, but EV technology, production, manufacturing in Arizona, love it. What are your thoughts, Chaz?
It's hot. It'll be a good acquisition for Tesla in a few months, I'm sure. It's something where it's like, I understand that's great that you have the engineering capabilities, but you don't have the economies of scale. You don't have the battery manufacturing plant. You don't have any of the production facilities that they have. You don't have the amount of people. You don't have Elon Musk, who's going to galvanize the entire country with whatever he does. And so, all of those things tell me that you can have great engineering, but you're not going to be able to truly compete. Maybe you can be a very boutique vendor, but that's not going to scale. And so, unless they have some crazy venture dollars that back the hedge on Tesla blowing up, which I doubt, then I'm sure he's going to be back in a butt in a seat at the Tesla office here soon.
See, I disagree. I think people see how much the stocks have risen with Tesla and go, wow, there's a ton of opportunity. You know, it's kind of maxed out from an investment standpoint on the Tesla side, where now it's like, hey, let's dump a bunch of money into them and they can actually compete. I mean, from what it sounds like, I mean, you're for what you're typically against, and that's one company. I mean, should you just not
Didn't
move
work for
forward?
Nikola, did it?
They haven't
I
folded.
think they got more money. I think they got more capital than these guys.
Yeah, and I think, I mean, it's healthy competition, although it is David versus
Agreed.
Goliath, but
Agreed.
David did beat Goliath. And
I love
think,
underdog stories, Dustin.
absolutely.
You know, I'd love to see it, and obviously, you know, having an EV hub out here in Arizona is exciting. So if we can see more of that, then I'm going to be fired up about it. But you know, again, and it's just going to be hard to dethrone Tesla with the amount of resources that they have, you know, and the cash that they have through the, you know, investment. It's hard.
Good old Rocky Balboa fight. But I mean, he makes claims. I mean, that 17% more energy efficient. I mean, he left in 2012. Well, no, Elon and Tesla moved very, very quickly. So is that 17% claim based off of where everything was at in 2012? I mean, I'm sure they've made huge headway since then.
They ain't going to be manufacturing 20 million cars a year for 25 grand in 3 years, Dustin. You know, I think that's a bigger opportunity, obviously, but you know, there may be some white space that they can capitalize on over there with Fisker, and you know, we'll see.
I think we both agree that it is tough, but I think we're rooting for the little man.
Love to see it. Love to see it. Yeah, definitely supporting them out here in Arizona. Looking back on the stories, you know, it's tough. You know, I had a few opinions there today, but I gotta give props to the Facebook third-party governing board. Again, Facebook didn't make this initiative. This is a outside group of people that have gone, you're not gonna police the election? Cool. Well, we're gonna start what you spent $126 million on and haven't done, and we're gonna get it going in 2 months instead of 6 years. So, I mean, you know, I think that that's phenomenal, and more power to them. Let's figure out how we can support them, Dustin, because I want to see more of that.
Yep, couldn't agree more. You know, my favorite or most interesting is the throwing away ballots or finding them in the trash. I mean, it's got an election coming up. Facebook just released that they have seen Russian activity already, and so it's we're already leading up to version 2 of the 2016 election. So I mean, just love to see how it's going to unfold, and hope it's a good one.
Yeah. Well, hopefully we can figure it out. And I mean, again, as entrepreneurs, people that push innovation, push the next wave of things that happen, trendsetters, takes all of us. So, you know, more power to you guys. But thanks for tuning in. Again, you've been watching the Non-Corporate Network. This is Entreprenews. If you want to check us out, you can find us on the podcast. Over at Apple, Spotify. You can find us on YouTube. You want to watch the full episodes. You can tune in. We're here Monday, Wednesday, Friday to talk about the stories. But Dustin, you have anything you want to mention before we get on out of here?
No, appreciate you guys tuning in. And just a reminder, check out State 48. We'll see you guys Monday.
Have a great weekend. See you guys later.